How did we get to this? Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We are doing a book haul. Clearly I've got a problem in here, but this is a collective book haul. What I've gotten in the past, I don't want to say month because that seems excessive, since the beginning of the summer. Okay, there has been so many books on my TBR for the summer, so many new releases, so many just good material, so many good sales and deals. If you live in the UK, we've got the Works. The Works is a place that you get books for very cheap as £2.50. And I also found a website you can get all American covers for a very reasonable price. And if you don't know my love for American covers, I am obsessed because sometimes the cover is so much more beautiful. American books are all floppy. If you don't know me, I love a good floppy book, and if I can get my hands on a floppy book instead of the UK stiff ones, I will do. I got Unloved by Ellie Hazelwood, which I read like a couple weeks ago. I did rate it 3 stars because I didn't like the chemistry between these two, but it was Ellie Hazelwood's newest release. I love Ellie Hazelwood so much, so we'll just buy anything that she writes, but I don't think this was her best plot. Then I got Off to the Races by Elsa Silver. If you don't know me and my love for Elsa Silver, I will just read anything that she writes. Her books pull me out of a slump every single time, and this is her first series that she wrote, and I think she's doing like a little rebrand with the covers. So this one just came out. I think it's just this one from the series that's out in bookstores at the minute. Oh right, so the book is like this big, which is not even that big, and then you have the novella at the end, which I think is so good. Like the concept of the novella being part of the book. Can we please just start doing this, because buying novellas I think is so unnecessary, but that's just me. That's just me. Okay, I just love a good cowboy romance. I don't even know if it's a cowboy romance, but it's a small town romance, and I will lit it up. I've been so excited about these particular two. Book Lovers and People With Me on Vacation by Emily Henry. I already have these, but I've got the UK versions of it, which is why I wasn't reading it, because I just can't bring myself to read out of those books. I don't like the covers and I don't like the feel. I got it from Books Please. It's I think a UK based website that they've got all the American covers, and for really cheap as well. I'm pretty sure I got this for £6 and this one was like 10 or 11, and I love this. Like look how floppy they are. This is pretty high up on my CBR because I'm trying to read them in publishing order, and People With Me on Vacation, reading it during the summertime, like that's only seems fitting. I recently read Beach Read. I loved Beach Read, and I also got the US version of that cover as well, but Happy Place was not my favorite read. Then this one is set in a small town, but it is based in New York as well, so I'm just really excited for this. Another one anticipated book that I've been wanting forever is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I recently read just for the summer, like in April. Not recently, that was back in April, and that was my first Abby Jimenez book, and I do understand that it's the third one out of this series, and it doesn't matter because you can read them as standalones, and I read that. It was my first Abby Jimenez book and I fell in love with her writing. That story was one of the best romance stories I've ever read in my life, and it was a clear 5-star read. It was one of my favorite reads of 2024 so far, and I had like a need to get to the series, so I got the first one in the series, which is Part of Your World. I do have Yours Truly, which is the next one in the series, and it's been sitting on my shelf for way too long, so we better get on to the Abby Jimenez books. Another new release, it's just a good summer, okay, is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. Yeah, I've not read anything from her before, but if I say this book one more time on my For You page, it's everywhere. It's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. This book is everywhere, and I have not seen a rating lower than 4 stars. I'm really excited. I've not read anything like it. I think she's like a single mom, she's divorced. It's not really my type of thing, especially when they got kids, but I've just been hearing such good reviews. So another summer book, another summer. Oh, This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. I've not read a Carly Fortune book, but this is floppy. I love it, and I love like anything summer setting. I'm just in a summery mood. I've heard really good reviews about this one. Leather and Lark by Breen Weaver. I loved The first one from the series, Butcher and Blackbird, I gave it 5 stars. I'm still thinking about it to this day, and this is the second one in the series. It just came out last month and I've not come around to reading it yet because I'm terrified. I'm terrified. If you don't know about the series, it has to do with serial killers, a lot of like gory things going on. The first one was gory as it was, but it was so funny and like so, I feel like it was its own little genre. I think Brain Weaver did an excellent job with that book, and people say this one is not as good as the first, but it's a lot more gory, and I'm like, oh. Let me just, so I've heard many mixed reviews about this, but I'm really excited because I just love the whole concept of that little world that she created. I think it's so fun. The book I'm currently reading, Reckless by Lauren Roberts, this was 100% my most anticipated release of this year. Like, there's nothing coming out this year that I'm gonna be as excited as I was when this came out. I read Powerless, the first one in the series, back in Feb, and it was a 6-star read. Like, when I tell you it was a 6-star, it came as close as to what Fourth Ring was for me. Like, I've not felt what I felt reading Powerless since I read Fourth Wing last summer. So good. It ended on a cliffhanger, and Reckless is finally out. We got the little cute red edges, and I'm a little over halfway through. I'm just reading it so slowly because I'm loving it so much, and I just don't want it to end. When this ends, I know it's gonna put me in a slump because I'm gonna want to read something exactly like this and I'm not gonna find it. On to the next pile. We have Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna and The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I saw Sarah Caroli reading these and loving this, and since then there have been everywhere on my For You page. Everybody that I follow is currently reading one of these two, and everybody just rates them 5 stars. I've not seen a rating less than 5 stars for these two. I got this one in Waterstone because I saw it and I was like, oh, it's like the Eiffel Tower cover, because she republished it, I think, with new covers, and it's nothing like this. So I got it from Waterstones, and I kind of wish I've gotten it from Books Please, the website that I got this one from, because they've got the American covers, but that's fine. I know this is about two sisters during the wartime, so it's like a little historical fiction fantasy. I don't know, it's not fantasy, but it's been recommended by the Reese Witherspoon book club, and people say it's really sad, and I'm actually terrified to read this. But I know I'm gonna like it, but I'm just terrified. And then I also got Firefly Lane. This is the kind of floppiness that I want. This is like, to put it into perspective why I'm just so obsessed with this. This is an American cover and this is a UK one. Can you see the difference? Can you see what I'm talking about? Like, you can just leave this on your desk and read while you're just doing other things. But this one you have to hold. You have to keep it open, and then you're gonna break the spine. So that's my beef. And then look at the size difference as well. So yeah, I do prefer these. This is about two best friends, and it kind of shows us how their friendship grows and what goes throughout all these years. I am a little bit terrified to read this because I've seen people cry while reading this, but it's all about the girlhood, and of course I had to. Next, I have 2 Greek mythology books. And if you told me when I was back in school that I was going to be reading Greek mythology fiction books for fun, I would never have believed you, because growing up and having to study Greek mythology for school, into learning all these things for school, I would have never believed you. Man, times change, because I got these 2 by Madeline Miller. So I got Circe. I don't remember studying about Circe back in school unless she had like a different name in Greek. Like, what is Circe? No. Okay, I'm really excited. I just found out who Circe was. I'm Greek, so I should know all these things, but I just found out who Circe was. Okay, now I'm just a lot more excited to read this because I think she was such an icon, and it's kind of like a retelling of Circe's story, and it has to do about womanhood. And then of course I had to buy the Song of Achilles, the American version. Not read anything remotely like this ever, but one of my favorite booktubers, Steph, she's just constantly talking about this book, and she does have a tattoo about this book, which someone would say she really liked it. So I'm really excited to read this. I have My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Ottessa Moshfegh. I have seen this book everywhere. Everybody's read this book. but me. People love it or people hate it. So I feel like when I'm in a mood, a little bit, you know, wintry, depressed type of mood, this is gonna be the perfect one to pick up. And I'm not gonna lie, I picked it up because I found the vintage cover, because I'm not really a big fan of the other one, if you've seen it, you know. But this one, I love it. I love the colors. I love the blue contrasting with the orange hair. Of course, I had to pick up Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I recently read Carrie Soto Is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid and I really enjoyed it. And it's the only literary fiction that I will read and I will enjoy, because so far that's all I've read literary fiction wise, I think. But Daisy Jones and Six was a 5-star read for me, and I feel like I want to reread, and I watched the shows twice. And I had to pick up Malibu Rising because the premise of this book, August 1983, Nina Riva's summer party, like it's a summer party in the Riva mansion, shit goes down, it's messy, and I am thinking this is gonna be my holiday beach read. I don't know, I just feel like I want to read it when I'm on holiday. I love Taylor Jenkins Reid. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I don't know why I picked this one up, but I feel like if I'm on kind of like a dark mood, I will want to pick this up because the premise of this book is really dark and people love it. It's just a very disturbing book, and I will kind of like love to challenge myself to read something like this. We got Mrs. S by Kate Patrick. This is a sapphic novel. An elite English boarding school for girls. A young butch woman. It all goes downhill from there. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This was one of the videos that I watched that say, can we see you to read this book, babe? Of its aesthetic. This was it. This was it. And you know what? I was sold. I was sold. I've not read anything V.E. Schwab yet. I do have The Invisible Life of Patty LaRue pretty high up on my TBR. And this was quite short. I was part of a series, but I was really intrigued. I got it when we were in Liverpool for the Taylor Swift concert, and every time I look at it, it reminds me of that day, and it just makes me happy. So, Jade City by Fonda Lee. I saw this in Waterstones, and I see it every time I go, like, you know, on those little tables with all the other important books. All books are important. I'm just joking, okay? But like the more like popular books. I went on TikTok to kind of like see the aesthetic of it, and it sold me. It sold me. It's a very unique magic system that's just created, and it's just about like a mafia urban fantasy that really intrigued me. I read up to page, oh my god, it's all I read, 30 pages, and I had to like soft DNF because I was not in the mood for it. I know I'm gonna like the series, I was just not in the mood for it because it's summer, and that just was not vibing with me at the moment. It's still there, I'm still gonna pick it up because I only read 30 pages, so I have no opinions to judge it anyway. Next of Kin by Hannah Bonham Young. My friend recently read this and she really liked it. Oh, I thought I'd give it a try, and it was on the works for £2.50. £2.50. Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. To be honest, this was high on my TBR like 2 months ago, but not really anymore. It is a nice summery Italian read. It's just not high up on my TBR anymore. I saw it in the works and that's why I got it. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it this summer. Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. I recently read this and I rated it 3 stars. This could have been a lot more than what it was. I couldn't care less about what happened at the end, and the premise and the story and the plot was really interesting, and I think had so much potential. I feel like it just wasn't done properly. I feel like it was very rushed, but it is nice if you want those London university vibes, living in Notting Hill with 3 other guys, falling in love with one of them and then falling in love with another guy that's a rock star in a band with a girlfriend. Maybe you can pick this up, but I feel like a lot more could have come out of this book. Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe. I uploaded a video on my TikTok. I just wanted some recommendations, some sapphic book recommendations, and so many people said this book right here. It's about a lesbian couple in the 1950s, I think. Served and Settled by Lila Sage. Have I read Done and Dusted, the first one in the series? No, I haven't, but it was in the works for £3. And these covers might be the most beautiful covers I've ever seen in my life. Cowboy Small Town Romance. Need I say more? On to the classics. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This has been on my TBR for quite a while. I was in such a mood to read this when I got it, but I was reading another book at the time, so by the time I finished that book I was not in such like a mood to read this one. The Unmaking of June Farrell by Adrienne Young. Again, this has been everywhere on my, especially on Bookstagram. This is everywhere. Everybody loves it. It's like a modern magical realism. It involves a curse, but I love the like the little concept of it, and the cover is so cute, I feel like. And it's kind of short, like it's not even, it's like 300 pages. It's not even 300 pages, which is crazy. So you can read this in a day. And then after watching this video right here on TikTok by Lauren Louise, I got pretty much every book that she recommended from that video. I got Sally Rooney, Conversations with Friends. The way she just sold all these books to me is crazy because she made them sound so interesting. It was like her summer recommendation book, and this involves like an affair with an actor, and I've never read anything Sally Rooney. I've never been like interested to pick up a Sally Rooney book. Then I got Brutes by this Tate. The cover, first of all, stunning. I love it. She basically said that if you just want to feel like a teenager again, being with your little friends with no summer job, no responsibilities, and just like living life when you were a teen, this is the one. And she really sold it to me, because I do reminisce of those times sometime, and I feel like this is going to be a good book for it. And she did recommend reading it during the summer because I think it's set in Florida, but it's got really good reviews and it's really short as well, so I'm excited to read this. And then the last book of this madness right here is Bonjour Tristesse by François Sagan. This is like the shortest little book ever. This is like a pocket novel. It's set in the French Riviera, which, first of all, yes, and her father marries a woman that she doesn't like. I think really small. I got it off of Vinted, and I think it's really small compared to the one that I saw in Waterstones. I am officially in a book buying ban. I want to just put it out there. I feel like I'm out of control and I need to stop. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you liked it. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in my next one.